I was stuck on 6 figures for such a long time. The old identity that we had is not going to get us where we want to be. So I'm trying to show a man he has the ability to do something that hasn't even been done. That's much harder. Now, easier said than done, right? Switch the language, switch the language. Every time red, follow it with green. You're messing your belief. And when you mess up your belief, you mess up and you screw up your actions. I'm Fawaz, alhamdulillah, and I've built a holding company that's generated over $10 million. I've scaled multiple companies to 7 figures from Allah's fadl, of course, and our clients generate over $120 million annually. Every time you're trying to go to the next level, there needs to be a different version of you. You need to scale you in order to scale the business. You need to get you operating at a high level in order to get the business to operate at a high level as well. You need a system upgrade, just like we do for our clients who generate over $120 million collectively annually. We will do the exact same for you and help you get your time back, make a hell of a lot more money, and scale your company, inshallah. But I want you guys to interact, inshallah. I want to hear from you guys in the chat. Bismillah. Would you guys all agree? It's very hard to stay consistent in praying 5 times a day if you don't identify as a Muslim, right? Yeah? It's very hard to go to the gym consistently if you don't identify as somebody who takes his health seriously. The point is your identity is very, very, very important, okay? What you identify as is going to basically give rise to the actions that you do every day. So a lot of people try to do certain actions first and then try to change their identity second. The first part, and I always ask people, if you look at it, what's the first part of being a Muslim? It's actually the Shahada. You actually first have to testify to something, right? You have to identify as a Muslim first, and then everything after is in action. Does that make sense? We should take hikmah from this as Muslims, guys. The first step to anything is the what? Is the identity. No action can be consistently maintained unless what? I identify with someone who does that kind of thing. Is everyone with me, yes or no? Very good. Now let's break this down one by one, inshallah, bit by bit, okay? Because in order for us to become a better human being and to achieve the results that we want to, the old identity that we had is not going to get us where we want to be. So you must change how we identify, how we see ourselves. Everything of that nature must change. And that's the only way for us to actually get different results. Brothers, I'm telling you, I was stuck on 6 figures for such a long time. For the longest time, I was fighting and smacking my head literally, right, against the wall, trying to think, how can I get past this revenue goal, right? How can I make this next amount of money? How can I get to this next set amount of money? And by the way, guys, don't worry, even the big guys struggle with the same thing too. Because similarly, the identity that got you to 4 figures isn't going to get you to 5. We all agree. The same identity that got a lot of these guys to 7 figures isn't going to get them to 8. Right? You actually must change your identity. You must become a new human being. You must become a new person in order to get different goals. I always tell people this: how can you expect the results to change when actions remain the same? So remember that. How can you expect actions to change if actions remain what? The same. Nothing comes from nothing. Change creates change. Imagine I just told you that, you know what, this keys just came out of thin air. You'd say, no, Fawaz, somebody probably gave you the key, somebody designed the key. You know, the key is probably for a car, all right? You would use your intellect, your brain, and you would simply understand that what? That can't be. Something can't come from nothing. Fundamental law of the universe. Now, when it comes to this identity thing, a lot of people don't understand it. How does one upgrade his identity? And again, likewise for me, guys, this is something that baffled me for a long time. How do I shift my identity? How do I shift the person I fundamentally see myself as and the kind of person I am? Okay, well, first step, you need to understand who you are, right? So right now, I was actually on a call. One of my clients, you know, she was telling me, you know, I'm really struggling, like every time, and again, let me know if you guys notice this. Every time I make X amount of money, my energy starts to what? Become reduced, right? Then when I make less than this amount of money, suddenly I become super energetic. And I really, really want to fix that thing, and I become really passionate, and I start to work really hard on my business, and it's the same thing, right? So whenever we reach the peak, the dip, we start to work really hard. But whenever we reach the peak, what happens to a lot of us, we start to slow down. Why? Because again, this is you staying in between your what? Your self-concept. So like I mentioned, Okay, it's very, very simple, guys. Stick with me. In order for you to change, there's a couple of things you need to do. You need to first understand, like I said, your current identity. Right? And then you want to understand your desired identity. What is the person that you seek to be? What is your desired outcome? Okay, so for example, I'm somebody who makes 500 euros per month. This is how I identify as. I'm someone who earns 500 a month. Now, how do you know this is your identity? Because you slowly become uncomfortable when you make anything less than about 450. How do you know, again, that this is your identity? You become comfortable and laid back when you make around 550 per month. You start to lag. You can't really do much. The motivation, the energy dies. So this is a direct correlation with a weak self-concept. So clearly there's a gap here. You need to understand where you are right now. So like we said, current, and then simply where you're trying to be. Now, when you understand those things, essentially what we're doing right here is we need to bridge a gap between current to desired. What is that gap right now? There's a couple of things that are on this path. I'm going to break each one of them step by step. Number one, you have limiting beliefs, right? A lot of the times, guys, what is going to stop you, okay, from getting from current to desired is a lack of belief, a lack of yaqeen, a lack of conviction in your ability to achieve that thing. You guys with me, yes or no? This is the biggest thing that is going to stop you from getting there. Those limiting beliefs of I can't do it, of I'm not good enough, or maybe this isn't for me, or kether. Those limiting beliefs are fundamentally, trust me, going to stop you from achieving your desired outcome. In order to achieve a certain identity, you must believe in the thing that you're seeking to what? Be. Right? You actually have to believe in it. Right? And I tell us Muslims we're a bit wiser. It's not that we believe in our ability solely, but rather we believe in Allah to grant us that thing. We believe that Allah has the ability to grant us the thing that we want, that we desire. You guys with me? Yes or no? So that yaqeen, that conviction in Allah gives us conviction in our what? In what we want to achieve. So first you must have yaqeen in Allah Azza wa Jal. You must have conviction that Allah can grant me anything. Right? And I always tell people, when you have a lot of these limiting beliefs, really and truly, a lot of the times what it reflects is what? A lack of trust in Allah and a weak self-concept as well. Now, easier said than done, right? It's like, Fawaz, how do I get rid of my beliefs? A lot of the reasons you guys lose isn't even because of your actions, it's because of your language. Wallahi, just based off of someone's speech, I can tell you if this guy's a loser or not. I can tell you if this guy is likely going to make it or he's going to be from the ones who don't make it. Just by his speech. Because winners don't talk the same as losers. Losers are people who give me things like, it's hard, or it's not for me, you know? Or everything I do fails. I can't be good at anything. This is a weak self-concept. If you have this belief, explain to me guys, how are you meant to actually achieve? If you have this connotation as yourself, imagine I view myself as a weak man. Even if I'm the one who has all the leverage, just the fact that I'm weak, I've lost already in my mind, trust me, I'm going to lose on the field as well. And this is something I tell people all the time. If you lose in your mind, you're going to lose in real life as well. In order to win, you have to win in here first. Does that make sense? You don't become a winner on the outside without being a winner on the inside. Firstly, you have to win here. When you win here, winning out there becomes much easier. But a lot of you guys have what I refer to as what? Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when we have a misalignment, okay, between action and belief. There's dissonance. They don't agree with each other. What you believe and how you behave, you're acting differently. And whenever you face cognitive dissonance, you feel discomfort. It's like as a Muslim when you sin. Because why do you feel uncomfortable? Because you know you're acting in a way that is what? Contradictory to your what? To your what? To your beliefs. You're acting in a way that is contradictory to what you believe. So there's dissonance. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. And a lot of you, it's the same thing. You're trying to make it, but you don't believe in yourself. So there's dissonance. And that's why they can't stay long enough. They can't. And that's why you notice people who follow the shahwat, what do they always end up falling into long term? Kufr. Because one has to change. It's either his belief changes or his actions change. You can't have both. Are you guys with me? This is really important. It's really, really important. I see this all the time. You know, when people say, this guy has gotten to a stage where he's left the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal, I know he's ahlul shahwat. He's a person of desire. It's not that he lacks conviction or Islam wasn't explained properly. No, he's a person of desire. And long enough, his desires got to him until he left the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Because one, it can't work. You can't keep behaving in a way that is misaligned. One has to shift. Either our actions changed, aligned to what we believe, or our beliefs changed, aligned to what? How we act. And this is why you see a lot of people, the belief system they have isn't real. They got it from their actions. They don't even believe the things, but they force themselves to believe this thing because of what? Because they act that way. So in order for us to get to something, to get to a stage where our actions are aligned with our beliefs, we must change our beliefs, guys. You must stop seeing yourself as a weak human being. You must change your self-concept. You must change your outlook on success. And that comes from changing the way you view Allah, first of all. Right? What do we know in the Hadith Qudsi? Allah is saying, I am as my slave, what? Thinks of me. If you believe that Allah created you to be a weak human being, to be a man who can't provide for his family, a man who can't beat his desires, then guess what? You are going to find that from Allah. But if you believe your Lord to be the one who created you with potential, with the ability to do things, who gave you ability, who gave you opportunity, then you will find that as well. How you view the situation will always change how it ends up. Guys, wallahi, I have a fundamental belief. Perspective, a lot of the times, is far more important than reality. Because perspective itself shifts reality. I'm going to repeat that again. Perspective itself, a lot of the times, is even more important than reality. Why? Because perspective can shift reality. How you perceive something can actually shift the way it ends up being. I'll give you guys an example. Me and my father had a very troubled relationship, right? It was amazing, then it was horrible, then it was, alhamdulillah, it's amazing again. May Allah preserve my father, right? And, keep us upon khair. But the point of why I use this example, guys, is because the only thing that changed our relationship is just my perspective. The reality changed based on my perspective. When I view my dad as somebody who was difficult, somebody who, was causing me issues and kedda, when I viewed him in that light, that's the reality I was met by. Negativity, issues, problems, right? When I changed my mind and I decided to view my father as a what? Oh, my father's an amazing man. He did a lot of things for us. He's a great father. That's what I met from my father. I found from my father in reality also. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. He was the same man both times. It was my perspective that changed the reality. And guys, this is why, above all things, I chose to teach in this. Because I can tell you for free, it's this that affects all the areas of your life. Business, of course, same thing. If I view my business as one that is, people use these terms a lot. My market is what? Oversaturated. There's too much competition. The big guys have taken over. These are things we hear all the time, right? If that's the case, then guess what? That's what you'll find. You'll find that your market is oversaturated. You'll find that your market is what? There's too much competition in your market. You'll find that the big guys have taken over. But if you look in a different light and you choose to look at this different and say, yeah, maybe my market is oversaturated, but there's space for me. We will do it differently. We have an advantage as small guys. And through that, trust me, you will find that there's space for you. You will find that you will do it differently. The one who looks at it in a way will find how he looks at it. The one who has a perspective will find the reality to his perspective. How many relationships have been banned? For example, guys, just to show you how deep this is, how many relationships have been banned because we had thought something? We had thought something. And we found that thing to be true, but initially it wasn't true. Maybe we thought this person had it out for us. So what happens? That's how we started to view it until that person began to have it out for us. How many relationships have happened like that? I can tell you many. And this is why the concept of husnul dhan is a thing in Islam, to have good thinking. Because if you have good thinking, you'll be met by what? By good reality. Are you guys with me? Are you following? Wallahi, guys, this is so important. I'm telling you, I'm repeating to you again, I wish people told me these things at the start of my journey. So when you're talking, make sure you're what? You're on the right-hand side. You're talking green language rather than what? Orange language. And you'll be met by that thing. When I was at the perfume store today, Amwaj, maybe you guys know Amwaj, it's the popular Omani brand. I went to the factory today in Oman to see how it's being distilled, how it's being made. I'm thinking, because I also have shares in a specific perfume company, right? Thinking, subhanAllah, like, bruv, look at the size of this company. Like, how can we even compete? And these thoughts will always come to you in business. Like, look at the size of these guys. Look how well they do what they do. How can we even compete? How can we even enter that market space? All right? So guys, what kind of language is that? Is that orange or green? We don't want that language. What do I gain from thinking that way? And by the way, guys, the reason I'm telling you, these thoughts will still come to mind because this is how it is. New level, new devil. I never told you I don't have doubts. We all have doubts. But the problem is we rule out because doubts fundamentally affect our actions. A man who has yaqeen, you know why, by the way, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, you know the nickname Sadiq, you know why he had this? Because he was truthful. Why was he truthful? Because he believed with certainty in the last day. With certainty. There's no one believed like he believed. Radiallahu anhu. All right? No one believed like what? He believed. That's why he was able to do things. That's why he was able to give the charity he did. That's why he put himself in the front line. Because when you have conviction in something, your actions are what? Are aligned. When you have conviction in something, you behave. It's like if I tell you, Wallahi ya Ahmed, Wallahi Ahmed, do this and I will pay you. You will do that thing. Yeah, you're guaranteed. You have conviction in this thing coming. Right? So a lot of the times, the reason we don't act is because we don't have conviction. We don't have conviction in the outcome. Right? We don't have conviction that we can achieve it. And trust me, the higher your doubts, the less your what? The quality, your actions, the quality and the quantity of your actions go down. Can you compare the actions of the one who has yaqeen, the one who has conviction in something as the one who doesn't? Of course not. This guy doesn't know. He can't put 100% in. He doesn't know. He's not sure. Even if he wanted to put 100%, how can he? He doesn't have conviction. Right? Yes or no? Huh? Guess if I'm talking smack, just let me know in the chat, please. No problem. I love being challenged. All right? It's really important for us to understand. So we need to eliminate, and I straight away said, so what? We're different. We're coming into the business from a market angle, and the same way a company was once small and one day be big. You have to switch every time your mind has red thought, change it to green thought. Bi-idnillahi ta'ala. Not through my power solely, but through the power of Allah. Through Allah's tawfiq, I'm going to achieve it. Switch the language, switch the language, switch the language, switch the language. Every time red, follow it with green. Every time your mind thinks red, lazim, daruri, speak green. If your mind thinks red, speak green. I never said think green, speak it, say it, even if you're on your own. Right? Speak the green. And it's only when you do this, guys, do you start to become more what? More confident in what you're trying to build. And wallahi, that confidence, that yaqeen, that conviction will reflect in your day-to-day actions. Right? Barakallah fiqh, we must switch the language. I always tell people, and people say this is delusion. I say you have to be a bit delusional. Right? You have to be a bit delusional. Right? Now, of course, I'm not telling you about the extreme of absolute delusion of, trying to jump off a building and saying, I can fly and think you're going to fly. Don't be stupid. Right? But khalas, these things have been done before. Aslan, the people, like you guys, like some of my clients, it's a bit tough. Right? It's not tough, but it's tough for them because they are taking on things that Saraha have never been done before. So I'm trying to show a man something that That he has the ability to do something that hasn't even been done. That's much harder. Can you imagine the first guy who built a plane, right? who came up with the idea of we're gonna fly some metal pieces in the sky and we're gonna carry loads of passengers? Or the guy who first designed the phone? Can you imagine what he was up against mentally? It's never been done. Believe in Allah. Believe in your mentors and believe in yourself. The reason, by the way, a lot of you are not patient is because you watch content that causes ajal. You watch content that causes ajal. Never ever click on a video of someone who achieved quick success. It's not good for you. Wallahi, listen to me. Brother to brother, ajal is hastiness, right? It's something that's from shaitan. There's hadith about it, right? Naturally, yes, Allah created us impatient. You have to fight it. But Allah created us hasty, right? We're hasty. We like to come to conclusions. You guys never ever watch a video of someone who attained quick success. It has no khair for you. It has no khair for you. You know? Even in the videos you see me where I mentioned I got success from young, I also tell people, but I started very young also. So it's balanced. Maybe I achieved success at 16, but I started from 9, as it took 7 years. Right? So don't watch content that breeds ajal. Don't. I even tell brothers who own programs and courses, do not promote those who get results that are insanely quick. It's not a good, you're creating a defeatist mentality within your group. Right? And this is important. I see it all the time. So when you guys are there watching videos on, I made 600K in 6 weeks, and you're wondering why you fall impatient and why you lose confidence, of course, look at what you're consuming. You're consuming videos of somebody, and what you'll never see is the amount of hours and years the guy put behind. Yes, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I'm confident I could start a company tomorrow and in 2 months get it to at least 20K per month. I'm confident. But that came off the back of what? We're talking 10 plus years. That's what you don't see. But I'm gonna take the YouTube video, I'm gonna clip it, and I'm gonna make the thumbnail. I got a company to 20K in 2 weeks. But you didn't see the 10 years. Don't be stupid. Which kind of success comes quickly? Right? Don't be stupid. Don't watch these videos. You're indoctrinating your mind to what? To be hasty. You're indoctrinating your own mind. I tell people you're messing up your own mind. I don't watch those kind of videos. I don't follow those kind of people that preach that stuff. It's dangerous to me. Because now he makes me want to what? He makes me always want to rush. I think I should be there. I don't watch these videos of fancy things and X, Y, Z. That makes me hasty. No. I watch hard work. I focus on hard work. A lot of you guys have told you stop consuming, produce. Be a producer. Stop consuming all the time. Produce. Every time you're consuming, you're not producing. Right? Every time you're consuming, it means you're not producing. Be a producer, don't be a consumer. Right? And this is what you guys need to learn. Unless you make that switch, you're going to be stuck where you are forever. Clean. I told you last week, clean what you listen to, clean what you hear, clean what you watch, clean everything. Because that's going to be one of the biggest factors in whether you succeed or not. If I'm giving you these lessons, and I'm here every week, and every time you're listening to our lessons, you go back anywhere and you listen on social media, it's as if I'm teaching you A and somebody's teaching you Z. Yani it's conflict. So you don't understand, you're not taking in what we're teaching you. You're not understanding what we're teaching you. I give you A, you go back to Z. Why? Because you're learning from different places. Focus. Rakiz. Move everything else. Focus. Life is focus. That's all it takes. A couple of years of focus. Change your belief system. How do we do that? We limit anything that doesn't agree with our belief system. I believe you must work hard and it takes time to achieve success. So why would I watch things that paint a different picture? It's against my belief. You're just causing dissonance for yourself. Focus, learn, study, go deeper. Does that make sense? Don't watch things that don't align with your belief system. Otherwise, you're messing your belief. And when you mess up your belief, you mess up and you screw up your actions. If you're a Muslim entrepreneur doing over 100K a month, you cannot scale using the same system that got you to where you are now. You need to upgrade yourself as a founder. This is the exact same thing we've done for all our clients, and they've been able to 3 all the way to 10x in revenue. So if you would like us to do the same thing for you, then click the link in the description down below now.